we're back, and I got my act together, I hope, Caldor.
You're fine. He's complaining more about the call than anyone else right now.
No, I know. Well, it's driving me crazy, man. Normally, I like to give like these long-winded ideas, and right as I'm getting towards the end, I feel like I have to cough like immediately, and I'm like, oh, what do I do?
He's explaining the situation, and then he's like, what that means is...
Yeah, that's... Oh, boy. It's frustrating, man, but you're doing a great job. Thank you for carrying me. I knew you were strong enough with those big muscles of yours. All right, so that last match was a bit of a disappointment.
Kinda. I actually hoped for a real long match between those two, and especially as you said, 3 maps would have been great between them, but now we have another TVZ, and, well, Bomber is looking really, really strong lately. This is his best matchup, Terran versus Zerg. He's really strong at it. So, Sniper, even though he's a very good Zerg player, he plays for the MVP team. If he's really ready to take on Bomber yet, that's something that we will find out within the next half hour.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of his ZVT. I think he took out, was it Avenge and Curious to get here? Or am I totally crazy?
No, he took out Curious, you're right. And he didn't play against, he played against Avenge as well. He played 2-0 against both of them. So
okay.
Against both of his opponents, he was able to win without losing a single map. He didn't face a Terran, though. The last Terran that he faced was Jakji in the GSL, and he lost in the KSL, and he lost to him. So
well, Jakji's pretty darn good, but you know what? Bomber looks so good against Zenio, like really good.
Yep. Bomber played so well, and the first map today between those two is going to be Cloud Kingdom. And if you watched the stream on the break when you saw the 2 cameras, Bomber kind of started to sleep on the table.
Yeah.
I don't really know what happened. He looked kind of sad, and suddenly Salah comes along and he's like, yeah, he has a mental break. And we're like, what? We're like, kidding.
Bomber has lost his mind. Well,
too much practice.
Yeah, you know, it could be, man. That does happen. People, they do burn out. But I think Bomber he's got a better mentality than ever before right now. So I think he's going to get Codas right now.
If you're on the roller coaster that is Bomber's career at this point, then you have to be a strong mentality. And guys, we're heading into the first game. We have Cloud Kingdom, match number 1. Bomber against Sniper. Code A with versus Calvin.
Down on your luck and it's Monday morning. Just stuck in a cage and you can't break free.
To the bottom left, we have our Red Town players starting for the StarTale team.
StarTale Bomber.
That's right, Bomber pretty sick lately. He was able to win the Code A qualifier, and now he is so close to being back in Code S. He's up against the player of the MVP team. In the blue to the top right of Cloud Kingdom, we have our Zerg player.
MVP Sniper.
All right. So, I mean, I just want to go over that, why I'm like a super Bomber fan again right now, because he fell off for a little bit there, right? He was like the best player in the world for a little bit, pretty much up there with MVP and ST, and then, you know, he just kind of, he went down to nothingness, and now he's back, and he's looking so much better against Zenio on especially the Daybreak game. I love that build, the 3 command center, the quick siege tank. For that build on that map against that player, considering the way they match up, because Bomber's such a macro guy and Zenio's kind of like a mind gamey, tricky guy, as long as he can get really safe macro going, he's going to win. So it showed me that he's really intelligent way he's planning. He's not just playing everyone like they're just some random guy in the ladder or something. You know, he's playing builds for players. And when you see a strong macro guy like Bomber do that, it's so impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive. When I was at the StarTale house and watched Naniwa practice for his match against MVP, there was also Bomber, and he just trained with everyone who needed practice games and made sure that he could squeeze in a few games in order to prepare for this match as well already. And, well, he plays kind of against the same matchup that he faced in his last GSL match. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, and it's a bit of an advantage when you can just prepare for the same matchup over and over and over again, but at the same time, obviously, your opponent has a chance to prepare because he can watch the VODs, he can watch replays, can get a glimpse of what kind of strategies you like, what you use.
Now, have you seen a lot of Sniper ZVTs lately? Because I'm like really drawing a blank. I'm trying to think of, have I seen him in the Korean Weekly? Have I seen him in the KSL? Where have I seen this guy play ZVT? And not a lot's coming to mind. I mean, I don't actually know a lot about this guy's style, which is kind of throwing me for a loop. I don't know, is this guy that, are we going to see him go Infestors on this map? You know, it's a good map for it. Is he an Infestor type of guy, or is he like a Muta-only type of guy? Is he a guy that might go Roaches? I'm not so sure.
Did actually not play too many games against Terran just lately. There's this game against Jakji in the KSL, which I did not see. It was at the beginning of April. And besides that, he played in the GSL Up and Downs a game against Ganji that he won. But you have to go a long way back in order to catch him play against a Terran player. There are 2 games at the beginning of March, at the end of February, so we have nothing that is really in the recent past.
Nothing too recent, and you know, especially with this new patch coming out, I mean, this guy's a wild card here. We could be seeing almost anything.
I know that Major, who stays at the GOM house, is a huge fan of Sniper's play, and I think he was practicing with him as well. He actually told me that I have money on Bomber today.
Do ya?
Yes. He was on the opinion that Sniper is going to win, and I'm like, yeah, Sniper is really good. I know the guy, I've cast a lot of his games, just not in the recent past, but I think that Bomber is just the more experienced playing, the stronger player here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a bet now. And
I tell you what, man, I wish that you had told me that before I left my house so I could have given him a call and put some money on Bomber myself. I mean... I'm feeling Bomber. Look at this. He's doing a great build already. He's getting that 3rd command center up, and he's getting his 2nd gas at a good timing as well as a factory. If he goes right into siege tanks,
this is just so safe.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
The one thing that you have, it's a bit of a problem when you turn on play. If you go for this kind of build, you don't. Oh, a 2nd factory already. Yeah, but the problem that you kind of have is you can't get too aggressive if you go for a siege tank build immediately. You can go for a siege tank marine timing, but you don't have a lot of Hellions out on the map. You can't harass. But with the changes to the Queen, this is very hard for you anyway. So this is something that we could see by a lot of more Terran players. Thorzane likes this build as well against Terran. And now with the 2nd factory and 2 additional gas, this looks a lot like he's going straight for mech here.
Yeah,
Cloud Kingdom is a great mech map.
I agree with you wholeheartedly there, man. But of course, I think every mech map is a good mech map.
I've heard that before.
you may have heard that before. It's a possibility. But I like this. And yeah, he's starting that 3rd fact. So it is, in fact, most likely going to be mech. I mean, there are variations that we've seen in the past from, for instance, beyond Ghost King Prime, where you'll go 3 facts into mass bio with your mech. But, I mean, this is most likely just going to be a straight-up mech build. And
it's pretty interesting to see that we once again don't see add-ons.
Yeah. That is an interesting trend that we're seeing quite a bit of. I mean, yeah, it takes a long time to make a reactor and something. The barracks is part of his wall-in.
He wants to have the Hellions a little bit faster out on the map, at least the initial 4, that he can start to kill a few creep tumors and push the Zerg player back a bit. If he just invests the time that he needs for reactor, he will have more Hellions a little bit later, but at that point they don't really help him all that much, so...
Yeah, it's a good way to put it for sure. Now, we do have 2 tech labs starting for Bomber, so it looks like a lot of siege tanks and or Thors are going to be starting up. He's also getting that engineering bay, just in case he needs some missile turrets.
And Sniper is going for the Spire, so we have once again a Mutalisk play on Cloud Kingdom. This is really something that a lot of Zerg players try to do lately, with NST kind of starting the trend. When the map first was introduced to the GSL, nearly every Zerg player wanted to go for Infestors just because of the reasons we mentioned earlier, but now Spire is getting a lot more popular on Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah, you know, Muta's obviously a very nice unit. Infestor play recently, I feel like every time I'm watching people go Infestor on some of these maps, it's not working out as well as it used to. Terrans really have a much better grasp.
In the main base, sorry for cutting you off here, but this is just horrible for Bomber. Everything gets scouted. This is perfect for Sniper. He sees the mech composition, he sees the 3rd command center, he knows everything now.
Yeah, that's a lot of intel.
And what does he do? Immediately he drops the Roach one and goes for +1 attack.
That is pretty awesome. He did have those 2 eBays, I mean not eBays, Evos, to make a wall, so to just start upgrading Roaches immediately is great. Of course, he has the Spire, he's not going to cancel it, and I like that he's not canceling it. It takes a long time to build anyways. Nice to have it as an option, but I don't really want to see many Mutas. 19 drones in production! What?
Because he can.
Awesomeness.
Getting a 3rd base now, and well, with he's going for 4 Mutalisks. Let's see how much gas does he actually have. He's supply block, isn't he? Yes, he is. 4 Mutalisks don't make a lot of sense. So he's supply blocked at this point, is building Overlords now, and will add a few additional Mutalisks. Probably just 6 to 8 in total, and then he can harass, he can force his opponent back, especially with the Thors. Bomber will have to position himself very passively in the main base, and so he can just get a little bit of time to get the Greater Spire, to get this tech going, Infestors, all that stuff that you just need if you are facing mech.
Yeah, I like to see just a handful of mutas, and I don't mind him even getting the plus attack upgrade. Mech is so slow moving, you can kind of just upgrade everything while you play against mech, knowing that, you know, the longer the game goes, obviously your units have to be worth a lot. But I definitely want to see what he's going to do with the roaches, because if you just go pure ground roaches against mech, and the mech player notices it, realizes what's happening, then they can easily just go mass siege tanks, push very slowly, and you're going to be dead.
Exactly. We have the first siege tanks already for Bomber, so he is mixing this up quite well. So far, we don't see Blue Flame, something that he's going to add later on, if he, as soon as he realizes what exactly is going on. I don't think he's skipping on Blue Flame, even there it is. Even if he doesn't see too many Zerglings, because the transition or the switch for the Zerg players is way too easy to risk it.
By the way, I really am liking Sniper's play here. Yeah, I mean, his mutas aren't doing anything. You don't really expect him to do a lot. They're just kind of there as a threat. But he has good creep spread. Yeah. He has a great number of drones. He got 70-ish really early on. His spine crawler placements, look at those spines of that third right there. That is amazing. That right there, that tells me, okay, I know what's happening here. Mech wants to kill some drones off. I'm not letting that happen. He got his roaches really late. He's making them finally, but they're really late.
The spine crawlers are perfect, as you already mentioned, because the one thing that always happens when you have a mech player with a lot of Hellions and Blue Flame on the map, he will start to flank your third from the left, so the spine crawlers are positioned perfectly well. And to the right, we now have a fourth base for Sniper 2. He's already 160 supply, he has a decent amount of upgrades, Banelings are now being morphed, and he has the Baneling speed on his way. But I really hope that he does not try to attack here.
Yeah, if he tries to attack into a 3-base turtling mech, then I'm suddenly going to be like, well, I know I said I was becoming a fan of Sniper, but that's gone now. This is only for counterattack potential. I mean, the Banelings can help him bust through any walls really quickly, or maybe kill some SCVs off, and the roaches can try to, you know, hit some big blow on it.
But, well, Bomber is moving out and the Overlord sees it, so now the third is actually a bit vulnerable, but Sniper decides to go back in order to get into position here to stop this. Bomber has a lot of units, he's maxed out at this point with 200 against 186 supply. Infestation Pit and 2-2 coming up for Sniper, but maybe a little bit too late here.
Oh, and the Muta's flying straight in here. Too many Thors, though. He's going to hold those Thors back so they can't help out too much. A lot of Roaches coming in, and oh my god, Sniper just crushing this army so far. Great moves.
He's not able to kill everything. Oh, another flank of Roaches coming in from the back, and they will be able to take down the Thors finally. And suddenly Sniper is ahead in supply as he builds 30 additional Lings and 10 Roaches. Whoa, that was not cost efficient for Bomber at all.
Yeah, you do not want to get your army crushed once if you're going mech. This is actually a great situation for Sniper. He still has his 4 bases. Let me check, has he lost any drones? 0 drones lost, okay? He's in great shape. If you kill a mech army one time, you actually should end up winning.
It takes just ages to rebuild it.
Dude, you're going to be maybe owing Major some money, man. That's going to be embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sniper's playing pretty darn well. Yeah. I gotta admit, he's.
It was so well done, and he's now taking to Hive. So very nice decision making here. He knows perfectly that at this point he crushed the mech army. It will take a while for Bomber to rebuild it. It will take a lot of resources as well. He's on 4 bases against 3. He knows he has a good economy. That's the time to get additional upgrades, get your Hive tech going. Just prepare for the second wave and make sure that you will have these Brood Lords eventually.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. And Bomber's taking another base, which, you know what, he may as well, because he is getting a little bit low on his other bases. So take that additional base, continue to defend well. But, you know, when those Brood Lords do end up coming, that's going to be just so tough to hold on. Because, I mean, he's going to have to go mech with Vikings. The Vikings aren't going to have the greatest upgrades. He has started the Viking upgrades just as I say that. And in fact is adding 2 starports, so he's kind of keen to what's going on.
And he is. Double Spire will definitely enable Bomber to get double upgrades. And finally, a few Hellions able to sneak into the mineral line, and they sure did some damage. The Queen will be in trouble here. If he actually just attacks the Queen, he can kill it, but there is not one to fuse. No, the Queen is going to die. And the 4 Blue Flame Hellions sneak into the mineral line at the natural, and now finally Bomber is able to dish out some damage here and killing some drones, and a fair amount of them. 33 in total.
And more going down. The Roaches are going to finally clean this up. Wait a minute. 1 Hellion did get away. The Queens, luckily, with their new range, do pick it off.
Yeah.
But
The
that's a lot of
Hellions alone.
drones, man. That's a lot of drones
Yeah,
lost.
33, and he's now down to 57 against 65. Of course, also the mules. Big problem here for him, and Bomber is about to be maxed out again.
Yeah, he is, but we still have a pretty fearsome army for Sniper out in the middle here. Still, though, Bomber is turtled up extremely well.
Yeah.
And, he's going to go for it. Too many siege tanks,
Yeah,
though.
thank God that he retreated. You can't attack into 4 sieged up tanks with this wall.
Well, he's continuing to run around. I love how smart Bomber is running up the other ramp to try to kill drones off because of those spines.
Beautiful. He scanned in order to take down the burrow drones. I like it a lot.
And, well, they don't do that much damage that time, but it's just so smart. When he sees where those spines are placed that were so smart by Sniper, like we went over before, to run up a ramp that you don't expect, the front ramp, which really you shouldn't be able to, but Sniper's good enough to have his units on the map. Just brilliant moves by both players. This is actually a great match already.
Yeah, it's really a great game. 200 supply once again for Bomber. And we have now the double Spire at the right side of the map. And to the bottom right, there's another additional base for Sniper. So he is on 5 bases at this point. And Bomber doesn't know about all of them. He has a great army here, and he's moving out, trying to apply some pressure. But look at how carefully Sniper respread his creep. And this will just slow everything down that Bomber does.
Yeah, he's going to have to use a lot of scans in here. In fact, here we go. The tanks are not siege. A huge move for Sniper here, moving in and dealing a lot of damage to the army of Bomber.
I think at this point he could have actually just attacked with the siege tanks without siege.
He may have been able to, man.
Yeah, I mean seriously, he lost like 5 tanks, and the roaches were already in the middle of the tanks when he just started to siege up. So with all these Thors and the upgrades that he has at this point, he could have just tried to attack without them, or at least only siege the ones in the back. Because the front siege tanks that are in the middle of the roaches won't be able to shoot anyways.
Well, right now we have Broodlords out on the map, Kaldor, but he doesn't have any Corruptors really, which is going to be an issue against 12 Vikings, which actually have really nice upgrades. They're already at 1-1.
And not only the Corruptors, he's lacking Infestors. He's now just building the first 2.
So if he moves out too far with these Broodlords and they just get sniped out right away, the game is basically going to be over. These Broodlords are going to be the crux of the army for the rest of the game for Zerg.
Yeah, base to the right, another siege tank gets sniped here. Tries to get in. Ooh, the Broodlords starting to attack the Hellions. The Vikings still in the main base. Finally, he's starting to use them.
Yeah, those Vikings are coming across the map. He's got to make more and more anti-air to help out with these Broodlords.
They need a turbo boost here.
And here come the Roaches as soon as everything on siege is good moves, but the Vikings coming up, and that's really what's important here. The Vikings killing off all of these Broodlords. That is going to be too much for Sniper, I think, this game.
Every single Broodlord just dies. 130 supply for Sniper, who's still dropping in supply. And this is brutal. He loses every single air unit that he has. Another Broodlord is dying, and now Bomber is on the move. With a high bank with 2,000 minerals and 1,500 gas. He's moving in. Finally, the Fungals. He's trying to fungal the Vikings, and he will kill every single one of them.
This is huge. Fungals taking down so many Vikings.
Boom.
Absolutely beautifully done. The supply is actually pretty even after that. And he's refilling on Zergling Infestor from here.
One of the Thors not attacking. He could actually take this base down, but you are right. He's going for Zergling Infestor, and this could do a lot of damage to this composition. We have a few blue Flamelons coming in, but all these roaches are just sniping the siege tanks, but there are not enough of them.
Well, it looks like he might go ahead and save this base, which is very, very important. He just needs a few more units to run up there. But does he actually... Well, he has a little group of Zerglings, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quite enough against that many Blue Flames with +3.
I don't think so. Bomber is playing so well right now. He wants the space, he takes it down, and he's willing to sacrifice some units because he knows that he has the better economy at this point, and he has still a very, very good army.
Yeah, well... Right now, Bomber 4-base against the 4-base of Zerg, but Sniper just hasn't had enough drones since that one huge drone massacre of 30-something drones.
And where do these drones go?
Drones, they're long-distance mining.
Yeah, they're long-distance mining.
There's a lot of them
across
long-distance
the
mining.
entire map. They're basically useless at this point.
Yeah, his economy has dropped down to... It's actually almost a third the size of Bomber's as far as his mineral income right now.
The Blue Flame Hellions get caught here. He tries to establish another base, tries to get the 5th base up, but he needs to force the deep break. and this is going to take a while.
Yeah, well, Bomber, he's going to just continue to creep across the map, even though he's not a Zerg player. You know, he does have siege tanks, so he's got to move a little bit slowly. He's done enough damage to a Zerg player where he should still feel pretty safe and in control of this game. But more Corruptors on the way, and still a much more mobile army here for Sniper.
Oh yeah. We have Bomber though with a lot of upgrades right now, and trying to take down the Planetary. No repair with the SCVs. Where's the army of Bomber? Completely out of position. This Planetary is going to die.
Yep.
And this makes things a lot more interesting right now.
Oh, is it going to... Oh, just dies. Just dies. He actually could have dropped probably 2 kills and saved it. But it looked like he was going to die really badly, so that's all right.
He still has a 70 supply advantage in overall supply, and 7 infestors and a lot more Corruptors now coming up. But the air army for Bomber is looking pretty strong. It all depends on if he's able to dodge these funnels. If he has a nice spread, and he scouted the base to the bottom right. So now this base is going to die as well. Sniper is really on the ropes here.
Yeah, I mean, losing this base, what does he have? His 3rd is still mining well. His original 4th is back up, but very few drones. And his army is just becoming less and less cost efficient.
GG as he runs into the siege tanks and takes additional damage. Sniper. GG is out of the game, and Bomber, he takes map number 1.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, that was actually a really nice game there, but Sniper, I felt like he made one mistake. He had a ton of larva at the time that he lost the 30+ drones. You have to re-drone against mech unless you're gonna go kill them right then. You basically, in max fight against max fight, you're generally not gonna win. Maybe if you have a perfect Broodlord Corruptor Infestor composition, maybe you can take out a mech army. He was playing more of a Roach Broodlord style, which is fine. But you have to have a gigantic economy for that.
Yep.
After he lost the 30+ drones, I was like, well, he still has over 30 larvae like saved up. He can actually re-drone, rework where his units are, and make sure the blue flames don't touch him again. Instead, he just kind of made like 5 drones and then started more units. And when you play like that, if mech just takes it slow, you shouldn't be able to beat him.
What I would like to see is complete wall off. When he realized the Hellions were at the 3rd base, and he pulled the Queen, so he knew perfectly well, okay, the Hellions will try to get into my natural, so he tried to block this, but there were too many of them. If he just walls this off for a little bit, just drop an evolution chamber and cancel it as soon as the Hellions retreat, you are fine. True. You don't lose all the drones at the natural, and then you have how many drones lost? 10 and 12? That's easily replaced.
Yes, so true. Well, all right, we're going to go into the next map. It's going to be Dual Site, a good map for Infestor. I wonder what we're going to see out of Bomber, though. You know, this is an exciting time for TBZ. It's not Reactor and Hellion openings every game. Do you feel refreshed by that? Because I sure do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's just, it's not this rewarding for Terrans anymore to go for double factory Hellions, because with the new Queen, it's so hard to actually kill all these creep tumors. The Queen can't do damage, and you need a lot of Hellions in order to deal with this. So I really like that we are seeing a little bit of a change in openings. But the game is coming up, guys. We have Dual Site. Second game between Bomber and Sniper at the GSL Korea with a closest encounter.